sun is shining here in the sunny southeast, and we are here in the beautiful port of Waterford for the Ravens Rock Rally. Rally highlights the popularity of this event with a capacity of overseas entries and the calibre of the competitors.
There's never a shortage of competition at Carrick-on-Suir Motor Club's flagship event, and although not part of the National Championship this year, the Ravens Rock Rally is a counting round of both the Sureway Group's Southeast stages and the PlasticBags.ie Southern Four Championships. So we can expect some serious action once again in Waterford. Seated number 1 is local driver Andrew Purcell in the Fiesta R5.
Andrew, we normally see you in the forestry. You're back here on the tarmac today. How do you feel about that?
It's 10 years, 2008 is the last time we've been on tarmac, so it's going to take a while to get into it, but we're looking forward to it. Can't wait.
Another Fiesta R5 dons number 2 in the hands of Daniel Cronyn.
Andrew is a very good driver, so he's on his home patch as well, so he'll be very hard to battle today, but we'll give it our all and see how it goes.
Seated 3rd is the Mark II Escort of Enda O'Brien from nearby Kilkenny.
It's going to be tough today now with four-wheel drive cars and some of the Darians, so we'll give it our best shot and see where we end up.
With its proximity to Rosslare Harbour, the Ravens Rock Rally always attracts a strong Welsh contingent, and top-seeded Cambrian driver is John Dalton.
We're going to enjoy the day. It's like being in Spain, isn't it? It's fantastic. I mean, you can't wish for a better start to rally and all the crack that's here. We're going to look forward to getting on the stages, yeah.
So, as the crews make their way from Park Ferme outside Dooley's Hotel on the port of Waterford, let's take a look at what awaits them at this year's Kilsheelan Limestone Quarries Ravens Rock Rally. Clerk of the course, Terence Kearney, and his team at the Carrick-on-Suir Motor Club have laid on a loop of 3 stages done 3 times, with the first test, Bay Lock, comprising of a mix of tight bends and straights. Stage 2, Carrick Phillip, takes in 3 areas of Waterford: Kilmacthomas, Kilvillage and Kilmeaden, while Stage 3, Coast Road, is a former Circuit of Ireland classic with some spectacular sections along Waterford's Copper Coast Drive, including a fan-friendly location dedicated to the late great rally commentator Dougie Hughes. Quickest in all 3 stages of the opening loop was Daniel Cronyn. The Cork man has been showing good pace of late in the Irish Tarmac Championship, and he recorded his best result to date with 2nd overall at the recent Circuit of Munster Rally. Could the Ravens Rock see him go one better to take his maiden win in the Fiesta? It wasn't a bad first opening gambit on tarmac in 10 years for Andrew Purcell. A regular on gravel lately, the local driver found the tar surprisingly dusty and slippy, but was happy to be just 10 seconds off the lead after 3 stages.
150 through the arch, flat 1 left up to flat 3 right, and left over flat left 150 to 6 left minus at the top, 6 left minus at the top, and flat 2 left at the lay-by.
Just 3 seconds further back in 3rd was John Dalton. The Welshman felt he picked too soft a tyre for the opening loop, but was still leading the 2-wheel drive contingent in his Darien T90. Another UK visitor in a Darien, Mark Straker, won the Wexford Stages Rally in 2015, but his return to Irish tarmac wasn't a happy one as he retired with mechanical trouble on Stage 2. And O'Brien wasn't happy with his first run over the stages in his Escort Mark II, as he confessed he didn't just get into the groove on his local stages, over 48 seconds off the top spot in 4th. Perhaps he would improve now that the cobwebs were blown away. Rally preparation expert Marion Evans likes to keep his hand in the competitive side of things, and the Ravens Rock Rally was a bit of a busman's holiday for the Welsh driver as he tried out new things in his Ford Escort for use in his business back home. He was 5th overall and 3rd two-wheel drive. Just 0.7 of a second back in 6th was compatriot Thomas Davis, who was back in a Mark II after some recent unsuccessful forays on Irish tarmac in a Fiesta R5. Last year's Ravens Rock was Martin and Don England's first event on Irish soil, and they've been impressed enough to come back a number of times since. The English husband and wife crew were 7th after 3 stages in the Fiesta R5+. Word of mouth has been doing its thing across the UK, and Sasha Cackett and James Aldridge were tempted to see for themselves. They were a further 3 seconds back in 8th, albeit with some technical issues in their Fiesta.
So Sasha, it's your first time in Ireland and you're having a few problems.
We are, yeah. We've lost 4th gear about a kilometre into the 3rd stage. So yeah, it's just one of those things.
Why did you pick Ravens Rock to come to today?
So everyone just raves about it, says it's a great event, and yeah, the first 2 stages we loved. It's just been brilliant fun. So yeah, easy for us from the boat, so pretty simple.
Another driver over on the boat was Wayne Evans. A regular to Irish shores, he held 9th overall with local man John Smithick on the notes.
Wayne, are you enjoying the Waterford stages?
Yeah, it's very technical stages, gravelly in bits. We're struggling for grip, to be honest, but what a lovely day. You've got to be smiling on a day like this.
11 seconds back in 10th was Wayne's brother Adrian Evans. He and navigator Martin Hendry were feeling the heat inside the car and glad of some respite back at service.
Adrian is getting really hot in the car out there.
It's very hot in the car, but I'd rather that than have the wipers going, to be honest. So.
And are you happy with your performance?
Yeah, so far so good. We've been a bit cautious in places, but we're still here, so that's the main thing.
While things were hot under the collar for all competitors out there, Jason Ryan was definitely overcooking it in his 1600cc Toyota Starlet. After a number of overshoots and off-road excursions, he eventually retired with mechanical problems. In the battle for 1600cc honours, James Bradley and Maria Keogh had been leading for the first 2 stages of their front-wheel drive Honda Civic. But they relinquished that lead to Richard and Brian Harney. The local brothers moved ahead by 1.7 seconds on stage 3 in their rear-wheel drive Mark II Escort.
Into 5 left over crest. 5 left over crest. 100, 3 right. 3 right and flat crest. Flat crest and long crest 40 chicane. Left entry 3 bales. Left entry now 3 bales. Then you're 46 left.
Richard, you're very close to James Bradley out there.
Yeah, having a good battle with him now today. In fairness, now he's pushing us hard, so on our home stages, and we've a bit of bother now with the flat shift and the gearbox. We're seeing can we get it sorted now before we go out, but yeah, enjoying it.
15 seconds off Harney was the similar spec machine of fellow local Eddie Doherty.
Turn square right at the sign, push 130. Stay right for flat 5 left over jump past junction 100. Flat 5 right 100 up.
Eddie, you're a local man here. What are the stages like for you out there?
Oh, great. The 3rd stage is very exciting there, and the spectators on all the stages as well is great. First time out in a year, so we'll go from there.
Another homegrown hero thrilling the local fans was Simon Reid, who was a further 13 seconds back and leading Class 13 in his 2-litre Escort.
60, 2 right of a crest, slowing 80, turn square right, keep in tidy. 80. Right on flat crest, the flat one left over bumps, 100. Slow 3 right, sudden hair from the left. Very long flat 2 left, 60.
Second in class and 15th overall was Cork crew Jason and Jonathan O'Mahony. With battles raging throughout the field, Class 12 was another one to keep an eye on, with Niall Fitzpatrick leading the way in his striking Escort Mark I. 15 seconds in arrears was the Escort Mark II of forestry regular Emmett Cronyn, who had local man Kevin Purcell, brother of Andrew, calling the notes.
130 out of it. 130 now. Flat 2 leftover jump. This is flat now. Keep it flat. 100 after. Keep it flat now. 100 now to a 2 right again. Flat again. 100 after. And right on crest. This is still flat. Keep going right on crest. Middle over crest then. 100 past the shade.
He may have been unopposed in the historic section, but it was a joy to watch Welshman Ian Davis fling his BMW M3 around the narrow lanes of Waterford. In the junior class, which runs for the first 6 stages, Westmeath's Michael Caniff opened up an impressive lead of 25 seconds after the opening 3. Second was Cork's Eamon McCarthy, who had local navigator Lisa Knox calling the notes in the Honda Civic.
Then chicane left entry 3 bales and long 3 left nips. Then flat right, crest, tightens over bump, then 64 right up.
Just 6 seconds further back in the 1300cc Nissan Micra, third place was a very respectable showing against the 1600cc machines in front for Killarney crew Dennis Nagel and Donagh Crowley.
And caution right hand jump, 6 left over jump, and caution right hand jump, into 4 left over big crest and jump, opens the 6 left over jump, 40, crest into 4 left narrow, into 5 right.
So after 3 stages, it's Daniel Cronyn who leads the way from Andrew Purcell, while John Dalton, Enda O'Brien and Marion Evans battle it out for the 2-wheel drive honours.
Daniel Cronyn, the Corkman, is taking the lead here at the Ravens Rock Rally. The temperatures are soaring and we still have more competitive stages to go. Join us back here in Waterford after the break.
Welcome back to beautiful County Waterford for part 2 of the Kilsheelan Limestone Quarries Ravens Rock Rally. With the country in the grip of a persistent heat wave, the Copper Coast provided a glorious backdrop as rally leader Daniel Cronyn powered his Fiesta R5 through Annestown village. The Corkman set 2 more fastest times across the second loop of 3 stages, extending his lead to 37 seconds. Andrew Purcell had been trailing Cronyn by 10 seconds before the break and was just 5 seconds slower on stage 4.
40, long 3 right, tightens to 4 right minus, long 3 tightens to 4 right minus, 100, left over crest, 30 to 4 left minus.
Stage 5 was where it all went wrong for the local driver though, as he clipped a bank, lost the front bumper of his Fiesta before retiring with a broken prop shaft. Purcell's exit promoted John Dalton to 2nd overall, and the Welshman went on to set quickest time on stage 6 as he began to get the best from his Darrion now that it was on harder compound tyres. Also benefiting from a good tyre choice were Martin and Don England. 7th before the break, the husband and wife team felt it all came together for them on the second loop of stages, and by the end of stage 6 they were up to 3rd overall.
Martin, you must be very pleased to be in 3rd position at the minute.
Oh, absolutely delighted. This was our first event last year and be doing so well here this year. If I can get this to the end, and for sure I'll try, we'll be over the moon.
Dawn, how do you feel about giving notes to your husband in the car? Is he a good listener?
Yes, he is. Very good, yes.
And tell us a little bit about how you got into navigating in the first place.
Well, I used to go and watch, and then I started on the tarmac just to do single venues, and I've always wanted to come to Ireland, so that's why we came last year.
And O'Brien was trying new things to improve on 4th overall, even switching to left foot braking for one stage, which resulted in him clipping a bank, so he quickly reverted. He was just 2 seconds off 3rd place though, so hadn't given up on a podium finish. Thomas Davis had been pushing for a top 5 spot, but the mechanical issues continued in his Mark II Escort and he retired on stage 4. Fellow Welshman Marion Evans was faring better, although he wasn't entirely happy with the setup of his car. Still, 5th overall was a good result so far, considering a decade had passed since his last outing here.
there's no better place to come than Waterford. I've been here before, obviously a long time ago, and really enjoying it. The weather is great, and I can't moan really, to be honest.
Simon, you're lying very close there with Jason O'Mahony.
Yeah, we're having a good old battle now today, so there's only 20 seconds between us now and 3 to go, so good old crack.
And you're a local man, how are you finding the stages out there?
It's grand now, a little bit of local knowledge now. It's just, I said 2 years since I did the last rally, so trying to get back into it.
The junior contest came to a conclusion after 6 stages, and taking third in class was Killarney's Dennis Nagel and Donna Crowley in the Micra.
Caution, long 4 right and 2 left. Caution, long 4 right and 2 left.
Emil McCarthy and Lisa Knox took the runner-up spot in their Honda Civic.
Caution right on crest, 2 left and flat right over crest. 83 left.
But taking a convincing win in the junior class was Westmeath's Michael Cunniff, with Barry Talt navigating in the Peugeot 205. Ian Davis and Ryland James took the historic trophy back home to Wales in their BMW M3. Wexford's Barry Hennessy kept himself in the running for the overall Sureway Group Southeast Stages Championship as he took the Class 1 win with Stephen Scallon calling the notes in the Honda Civic. Cork's Kevin Dolphin took the honours in Class 2 and finished 17th overall with Martin O'Brien navigating in the Renault Clio Super 1600. It was a local win in Class 3 for John Bagg and Ron Mackey, who finished 18th overall in the Peugeot 306. Class 4 honours went to Owen Neville and Tommy Hayes in the Mitsubishi Evo 9. The Wexford crew of Ger Power and Liam Fitzgerald won Class 9 in their Vauxhall Nova. Kilkenny's Pearse Doheny and Ailish Dunn won Class 10 in their Opel Corsa. The 1600cc Class 11 division is split into 2 categories for front and rear wheel drive cars, and taking second in Class 11F were John Handy and Richard Cleary. James Bradley and Maria Keogh took a dominant win, finishing a fantastic 6th overall in their Civic. Richard and Brian Harney had been ahead of Bradley and Keogh going into the final loop, but they put their Class 11R Escort out of the rally on stage 7. Armagh crew Declan Hall and Chris Corr took second in Class 11R and finished 15th overall in the Toyota Corolla. But taking the honours in the rear-wheel drive 1600cc class was local crew Eddie Doherty and Kieran Rafter, who finished 9th overall in the Escort.
Chicane right and entry 3 bales and flat 4 right. Keep the head now, ladder right. Flat 4 right here and flat tight 4 left, Hogue 100.
Emmett Cronyn pushed hard on the final loop but had to settle for the runner-up spot in Class 12 and 14th overall. Not a bad result for his Southeast Stages Championship aspirations, although he did run into some traffic along the way.
And then you have 60, you're okay, 60 to a 2 right, only 40.
To finish.
Yeah, it's right here now, 4 right coming up here now after the crest. Watch it now. And then there's a 5 left, 4 right here now and 5 left. You're okay now, 4 right and 5 left. He's not going to pull in. Keep the head, this is the finish, Emmett. Keep the head now, that's it.
Niall Fitzpatrick saw off the challenge from Cronyn to take the Class 12 win and finished 12th overall with navigator Johnny Murphy. In Class 13, Jason and Jonathan O'Mahony took 2nd place and finished 10th overall, 19.5 seconds off class winners Simon Reid and Billy Ryan, who finished 8th overall after a fine drive on their home rally.
Flat 2 right, into flat 2 right up a crest, tight 3 left in, 60, fast 3, fast 3 right, the flat 1 left, 150, camera slow down the small. Yeah, no, it's all right, come on. 1 left, slowing, and 5 left at the gate, fail on the outside.
In Class 14, there was disappointment for Marion Evans and Cyan Jones, who were second in class and 5th overall, but went out on stage 7. Mechanical trouble on stage 2 saw Alan Doherty lose over 10 minutes, but he rejoined under the Rally 2 rules and finished 5th in Class 14.
100, turn hairpin right, bail inside. Three left flat. 2 right flat.
Rally sponsor Pascal O'Shea of Kilsheelan Limestone Quarries was also running in Rally 2, having lost 9 minutes on stage 5. He eventually finished 4th in Class 14, with Robbie Hennessy calling the notes in the BMW Compact. Mark Dolphin and Colin Fitzgerald took 3rd in class and finished 11th overall in their escort. Adrian Evans and Martin Hendry were 7th overall and took 2nd place in Class 14. Adrian's brother Wayne took the Class 14 trophy home to Wales as he finished 5th overall, with local navigator John Smithick calling the notes. Clareman Anthony Breen took the Class 15 win, with Jill White navigating in their Subaru Impreza. In Class 20, local driver Keith Power had been going well early on, lying 2nd in class and 15th overall, but his Mitsubishi was plagued by mechanical issues and culminated with this half roll on stage 8, after which he retired. Bristol's Philip Hopkins had a mixed event in the Mitsubishi Mirage, slipping to 24th overall after a stage 3 mishap before climbing up to 10th going into the final stage. But he had to settle for 13th in the end and 2nd in Class 20 with navigator Ashley Trimble. Martin and Dawn England were 3rd overall going into the final loop, but they slipped to 4th by the end of the rally. But it was still a fine result, and they take the Class 20 trophy back to the UK. Another prize heading over the Irish Sea is the Class 24 trophy, won by Andrew Blackburn, who was navigated by Galwegian Laura Mulrooney in the Pink Panther Subaru. To the overall podium finishers now, and it all came together on the final loop for Enda O'Brien and John Butler as the Kilkenny crew finished 3rd in their Escort Mark II. 53 seconds ahead and 2nd was the Darien T90 of Welsh crew John Dalton and Gwynfor Jones, who set another fastest time on the final stage and took the top spot in the two-wheel drive battle. But there was no catching the Fiesta R5 of overall winners Daniel Cronyn and Shane Buckley. The Cork crew were quickest on all but 2 of the stages and made it back to Rally HQ outside Dooley's Hotel in the Port of Waterford with over a minute to spare on their closest rivals.
Dan, you led from start to finish. You must be thrilled with your overall performance.
Yeah, it was a mighty day now, in fairness. We just kept it clean and tidy all day. You know, we were pity about Andrew, we were in a good old battle with him. But sure, that's the way it goes, so no, delighted now with the win.
And there's confirmation of the results of the Kilsheelan Limestone Quarries Ravens Rock Rally, with Daniel Cronyn the winner, John Dalton 2nd, Enda O'Brien 3rd, Martin England 4th and Wayne Evans in 5th.
Daniel Cronyn has led from start to finish in the Ravens Rock Rally. Conditions were excellent all day. We will be back again next year. From all of us at On The Limit Sports, bye for now.